You didn't argue. You didn't text. You just vanished. But were you protecting your peace or running away? We've all experienced it. That jarring, icy silence when someone who was in your life every single day suddenly becomes a stranger. No final goodbye, no closure, just a sudden, absolute ghost town. Or maybe you are the one who walked away. You reached a point where the weight of a friendship or a relationship became too heavy to carry. And instead of trying to fix it for the 100th time, you just quietly closed the door forever. To the outside world, this looks incredibly cruel. Society labels it as toxic, immature, or a cowardly lack of communication skills. You're told that you're running away because you can't handle the hard conversations. And if you're the one who left, you've probably carried that heavy burden of guilt. You look back at faded connections and wonder, why couldn't I just say something? But what if this sudden detachment isn't an act of aggression at all? What if, for your brain, it was the ultimate act of survival? To understand this, we must look at how certain minds process prolonged social exhaustion. In psychology, this extreme boundary isn't just basic ghosting. It's often referred to as the INFJ door slam, or emotional burnout detachment. To understand why the quietest people leave the loudest silences, we must look under the hood. Think of your emotional capacity like a simple glass of water. A toxic partner, an entitled family member, or a manipulative friend doesn't usually destroy your relationship in one giant explosion. Instead, they drip a single drop of disrespect, invalidation, or crossed boundaries into your glass every single day. One day, they cancel plans last minute. The next, they make a passive-aggressive joke at your expense. To them, it's nothing. But you are a meticulous emotional accountant. You don't pick a fight over a single drop. Instead, you log it in a silent internal ledger. You forgive. You give second, fifth, and 10th chances. While they think everything is perfectly fine, your emotional battery is quietly draining to absolute zero. And then, one day, that final tiny drop falls. The glass overflows. The door slam happens not out of anger, but out of absolute emptiness. You don't have the final conversation because you've already had it 1,000 times in your head, and nothing changed. You realize that explaining your hurt to someone who refuses to understand you is a waste of breath. Interestingly, evolutionary psychologists suggest this isn't a modern flaw. It's an ancient survival mechanism. In early human tribes, survival depended on social hypervigilance. The highly sensitive individuals were the natural watchers of the tribe. They were hardwired to scan for subtle, hidden threats or individuals whose erotic behavior compromised safety. If an ally became consistently unreliable or unsafe, the smartest survival choice wasn't to start a high-stakes conflict, it was to silently detach, recalculate, and move on. When you cut ties today, your brain is simply running that ancient protective software. You aren't trying to punish them, you are frantically trying to rescue yourself. But let's look into the mirror with absolute honesty, because not all detachment is healthy. There is a razor-thin line between protecting your energy and hiding behind your walls. Healthy detachment is when you walk away because a situation is genuinely eroding your self-worth. You leave to save your soul. Unhealthy isolation, however, happens when you door slam people because you are terrified of genuine emotional intimacy. The moment someone gets too close or a normal conflict arises, you panic and shut down. You don't leave because they're toxic. You leave because staying requires you to be vulnerable. It requires you to be seen. So ask yourself, did you close the door to protect your sanctuary, or because you were afraid to face the truth? For many, this silent defense mechanism was born long before adult relationships. Think back to your childhood. Were you the kid who retreated to a quiet room when the house got too loud or chaotic? Did you learn early on that expressing your pain only led to more dismissiveness or anger? In those moments, you discovered a truth. You couldn't change the environment, but you could disappear from it. If you have ever walked away from someone without a word, hear this clearly. Stop setting yourself on fire just to keep other people warm. You aren't cold. You were simply empty. You aren't cruel. You were just exhausted from trying to fix things broken from the start. Your silence isn't a weapon used to hurt them. It is the final, sacred boundary you drew to save yourself. You chose life. If you've ever had to slam the door to finally find your peace, hit that subscribe button right now to help our community grow. Now, leave a comment below. Have you ever cut someone off completely or been left in the dark? Let's talk. See you next time.